These are my babies. I am going to introduce you to each one of them and we'll talk about the good and bads about it. These are all Sony full frame cameras, except this little one. This only has like a 1-inch sensor. And there are some things to talk about. I have some problems with some of them and some of them I really love. So if you're on the lookout to get a full frame Sony camera, you better watch this. You might learn a thing or two. Let's see. I have the Sony A1, Sony A92, A7R4. I have another 7R4. It's filming me right now. And the A74. So these are the cameras we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about any crop sensor cameras because I don't have any, and honestly I don't like crop sensor cameras. I used to have a crop sensor when I shoot Nikon. I had a D500 and I never liked it. And ever since I switched to full frame, I would never go back. Let's see. We'll start from the most expensive to the most affordable. We'll start with the A1. Sony A1 retails for $6,500 and it's 50 megapixels. Now this is the Sony's flagship camera, which means they put all the bells and whistles in it. It has everything. It does awesome stills and does awesome video. Anything you could imagine that you might need this for, this will work. This is the camera that will do it. And it does it really well. The one thing I don't like about this camera is, well, the price. When a camera costs $6,500, well, that's a lot of money. People buy cars for that kind of money. And because it's so expensive, I find myself sometimes not using it. For example, if it's summer and it's very humid outside, or it's winter and it's snowing or raining, I would never take this camera outside because I'm trying to protect it. This is my baby. So I will take a more affordable one with me, just in case. If you're wondering what this is a L bracket from Small Rig. I have it on every single one of my cameras. I love it. The reason why I love it is because, one, you can change the battery without taking the bracket off. It comes with its own little tool here, so you don't have to carry a coin, and it just stores right here on the base. And also has the Allen wrench that fits in here magnetically, so you always have it in hand. It used to have a little hot shoe over here, but I removed it because I don't need it for microphone or lights. We got sidetracked. Let's go back to the A1. Really, it's nothing really to say about it. It's just a perfect camera, except the price. It works wonderful for everything. Next on the list is the Sony A92. This retails for $4,500 and it's 24 megapixels. Now, I have mixed feelings about this camera. A year ago, if you would have asked me which camera you should get for, all purposes, I would have definitely said A92. It was the fastest focusing camera. It's really accurate focus. It's sharp images. It works with any lens you throw at it. And I loved it. But now, in February 2022, it's the one camera I would say do not buy it. It is not worth it. I would never buy this camera this day. And I'll tell you why. Because $4,500, it's very expensive for what it offers. There are more affordable alternatives for half the price that do more stuff than the A92 can do. So 24 megapixels is just not enough. I know it's a great camera, a lot of people use it for wildlife, but with 24 megapixels you cannot crop in at all. So you'll get a bird and you'll get it in focus, but you'll be a small dot over here somewhere on the screen because you can't crop in it. So you better be really, really close to your subject, or this camera, it's not gonna do you much good. Forget about taking macro shots or anything like that. So that's my thoughts about the A9. I wouldn't buy it. I should probably sell mine. If you want to buy an overpriced camera, put in the comments below. I'll sell mine. What I use it for, I still use it right now. I use it in the studio and I use it for stop motion animation. Because when you do a 400 photos animation, it's like 15 seconds of sequence, then you don't want to edit 60 megapixel, you know, images for 400 images. It takes a long time. So I'll use this one just because it's low megapixels. Next on the list is the A7R4. And this one used to be my favorite camera. This is the first camera, Sony camera that I had when I switched from Nikon. I used to shoot with the Nikon D850, and then I was so jealous and all the people that were shooting Sony and they had eye autofocus. So I went and bought the A7R4 and I loved it. I figured 61 megapixels. Oh, it retails for $3,500, 61 megapixels. I figure I can take macros and wildlife and I get to crop in really tight and fill the frame. And boy, was I wrong. I took many wonderful macro shots. I can fill the frame with a fly's eye. It's the best camera you can use right now probably for landscapes. Wonderful for studio work, food photography, product photography. It's really a great camera. Now, when I first bought the 200 to 600 millimeter lens, I was so happy. I took it out of the box, I put it on my A7R4, and I went out to the local park to shoot some wildlife. When I came home from the park, I saw all my photos were blurry. All my birds in flight were blurry. The ones that were just perched on a branch or something, they were totally sharp. So I didn't know what to think. I figured must be my camera. So I put my lens on my other Sony A7R4, which is filming me right now. I went back to the park, and when I came back, the same results. Every photo was blurry. So then I knew it was not my camera. I figured it's the lens. So I sent back the lens, and I bought a new one. When the new lens came, put it back on my camera, went back to the local park, and the same problem. All the photos were soft. So I messaged Mark Smith from Florida. He's a YouTube legend, shoots a lot of ospreys photos. I knew that he just recently, in that time, switched from Nikon to Sony. So I messaged him and told him, hey, I have this, cameras and I bought this lens and photos are all blurry and I'm an experienced shooter in handheld, wildlife photography. I don't understand why they're all blurry. So he messaged me back and he said that he does not like this lens so much on the Sony A7R4. He uses it with his A9. So I went and bought the A9 II. And I was very happy to see that the A9 II with this lens worked wonderful. Every photo was sharp from them on. It was really easy to acquire focus and I had no problems. But for some reason, the A7R4 does not work so well with that lens. It works great with shorter focal lenses, but not that one. I don't know why. I wish they would fix that. So I love the lens. I use it all the time in the studio. If I travel, I take it with me for landscapes. I use it for macro because I use manual focus. But birds in flight, not so much. The focus is really not that great. Another example, I actually shot this video last night for you guys. And then I went home and when I looked at the video, I was blurry the whole time. The camera, even though I had it on eye autofocus and I was on wide zone, the camera focused right here on the lenses and I was in complete blur. I was shooting with the 24mm GM lens. So that's my opinion on the A7R4. Last camera, which is the newest camera from Sony, is the A7 IV. This camera retails for $2,500 and it's 33 megapixels. When I think of this camera, I think of it as a baby A1. It really does the same thing. They have the same menu, they have the same chip in it, they focus just as fast, they work great with every lens. So it's a A1, a baby A1, and with smaller resolution, only 33 megapixel. But it does great. It does great photos, it does great videos. I had no problems with it so far, and I use it a lot. This one does have the flippy screen. I know some of you guys really care about that. All these other cameras do not have a flippy screen. I don't care for it so much, but yeah, it's just a great camera. I would totally recommend. If you have to buy one camera these days, I would say go for the A4. It's really the best medium for photos and videos. Last camera we're talking about is this tiny Sony ZV1. This is a point and shoot camera, and I know it's not a full frame camera, but I have it and I want to talk about it because it has some great feature. This is a point and shoot, so you cannot change the lenses when you turn it on. You see, this is the lens. It's a Zeiss lens, it's a very sharp lens. It's an equivalent of 24 to 70 millimeter. It does have a flippy screen, so it's great for vlogging. If you want to have a small rig with a gimbal and not a lot of weight and don't have to change lenses or bring lenses with you, this is great for that. Flippy screen, lightweight, sharp lens. It has a ND filter internally. You just have to go in the menu and turn it on. I believe it's a 3-step ND filter. And I put this sticker, what is this called? Adapter. I put a sticker adapter on it so I can attach any filter I want to it. Usually I'll put a polarizer of some sort or a macro filter. And I use this a lot if I go for a hike and I want to take photos that are just a little bit better than what I can take with my phone, but I cannot bring one of these big boys with me because they're too heavy and I have no room for it. I just want to throw something in my pocket and go. This is what I would take. So let's summarize. If you're taking macro, extreme macro or landscape photography, studio work, the A7R4, it's really the best choice just because of the megapixels. It's sharp and it works great. If you are a wildlife photographer or just want a multi-purpose camera that you can take for photos or videos, well then, if money is not a problem, the A1, it is the best camera. If you want looking for something more affordable, then the A7R4, it's really an excellent choice and can do pretty much everything you throw at it. I would not recommend the A92. I'm sorry, A92. I used to love you, not so much anymore. And that's it for today. I hope this was helpful and good luck with purchasing your next camera. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I will try to answer to every single one of them. My name is Skyler Ewing and I will see you in my next video.